Hello, my stamping friends. This is Renee Novak at blessedbycards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Today, I'm going to share with you part 4 of our 4-part series, Quilting with Paper Scraps. And this has just been a fun technique for me, a whole series of trying to use up some of my designer series paper. So I have some retired, I have some designer series paper that I have no idea where it came from, but I just chose some coordinating patterns. So really all you're going to need is a 3x3 square, and for this card, a 3x3 square and a 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and you do want them to coordinate on front and back. If they don't coordinate on front and back, you're going to need 2 pieces of your 3x3 to get the coordinating design. So let me share with you. I'll bring in my paper cutter and share with you how to cut those to create your pattern, quilted pattern piece. Okay, so what we're going to need is, and I'm just going to take a piece from this stitched quilt stocking, and that is actually it's the stitched stocking is the bundle, and this is a stitched season for our designer series paper. And a lot of the designer series paper is on sale right now, so you can hop on over to my blog and get some for sale, 15% off, but that does end at the end of this month, August of 2026. Okay, so for the first thing you're going to need to do is, if you have a coordinating piece that you like both sides, then you just need 1 sheet. If you don't like how they coordinate, you're going to need 2 sheets that coordinate. So 3x3, and then we're going to cut on the diagonal. So just put both of your points into your cutter. I like to start with my blade not quite on the corner, so somewhere in the middle or somewhere in the square. Hold that down and just cut on the diagonal. And so those 2 pieces we're going to be using. So we need to cut these down again because these squares are a little bit smaller, as you can see. So we're going to cut this again. And we're going to put the long piece across the top, and we're going to put our point of our triangle into our blade track, and then we're just going to cut on the diagonal. So there's that piece and that piece. We're going to do the very same thing for here. And like I said, if you don't like that flip side of your paper, you're going to have to do 2 3x3 squares. Otherwise, 1 3x3 square will give you all you need. And then that center piece is just going to be a piece that measures 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and I just cut that little patchwork right out of that stitched season. And so then all you're going to do is you're going to need to build your square. And what I did was I cut a thin piece of, I have a thinner white cardstock, but you can use copy paper if you want, depending on how many layers you're going to have. You don't want to use it super thick because it's all going to be covered. So just a 3x3 square of white where you're going, it'll make it easier for you to mount your squares. And the important thing is for you to match up your centers so that your centers coordinate, and then they meet right in the center. And then you're going to do this piece here, and then you're going to do this piece here. Oops, here. Okay, then you're going to take that centerpiece and you're going to stick it right down on there, and then you're going to have that 3x3 square. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run that square through an embossing folder. Choose whichever one you think you want that will give you a quilted look. I chose the eyelet embossing folder. I do believe that's on the last chance list, so that seemed to work well with this design for me. Then after you get that done, it's all glued down, and you do the quilting with your embossing. Then just add it to a piece of 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 that will coordinate with your square. I just mounted my crumb cake and I stamped Fun in the Sun. This is Summer Happiness Bundle. I stamped some shoes and fussy cut those. I cut out the sunglasses, and then just on the inside stamped some shoes. So use whatever paper you have. Use whatever is going to work for you, whatever stamp sets you have. This is another one I decided to do, and this one I chose to do 4x4. And it's the exact same concept. You just start with a 4x4 paper, and you again cut on the diagonal. And once you get those cut on the diagonal, they'll just be bigger. And then you put 2 on there and the opposite on there, just like I did with the smaller square. And then put your accent. Now, I did not use another piece of designer series. I decided just to put a greeting. So I did run my square, my 4x4 square, through the Forever Plaid embossing folder first, and then I stuck it down. I did the love and hugs from that greenery lane, and then I just stamped everything in Night of Navy. And that is card number 2. Card number 3, I did very similar to card number 1. The only difference I did on this one is I did not use 4 pieces of designer series paper. So I chose a color from here, and I decided to use cloud cover. And so you can use solid pieces. You don't have to have designer series paper. And then you can just embellish them however you want. You could stamp on them and then emboss them, but the sky would be the limit on that. It just pick whatever you have and whatever coordinates for you to create a fun square quilt patch. It depends on if you want the smaller one or the larger one. So that's all I have for part number 4. This is our final part in this 4-part series. Hop on over to my blog at blessedbycards.com, where you can view all the videos for all 4 parts, and also there is a free project download sheet for all the projects that have the measurements and the supplies that we've used. So thanks so much for joining me. Be sure to stop back next Monday for another Make It Monday tutorial. And until then, be blessed.